Dear students, let us begin the chapter The Patriot, written by Robert Browning. Robert Browning has been a very famous poet of his time, and he can be compared with Indian poet, Urdu poet Khayyam, because both people philosophy was similar. First of all, stanza number 1. It was roses and roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. The house roofs seemed to heave and sway, the church spires flamed, such flags they had a year ago on this very day. Dear students, let us have an intro of this poem. First of all, then I would like to explain the stanza. Public emotions as opposed to public opinion are volatile. When manipulated cunningly, it sways the public mood, making people to behave in a mercurial manner. The consequences are deleterious for the society as it fuels frenzied support to a certain individual or a particular ideology. It can cause upheavals, unrest, irrational hero worship, or unjustified demonization of an otherwise noble person. History is replete with examples, hideous characters rising to great heights and then falling suddenly from grace to suffer incarceration, death, or lifelong vilification. Hitler, once the apple of the common German's eyes, is now a figure no one wants to remember or talk about. Same fate has besmirched Stalin, Lenin, Mussolini, and many others. This phenomenon of instant adulation of a person and their equally quick condemnation has been there in human society in all ages. It is an aberration that has caused much pain and suffering to individuals. Dear students, in this poem, The Patriot, Robert Browning narrates the fate one such victim of violent swing of public mood. It is a lament that should cause some soul searching in minds of present day society's opinion makers. Now, the stanza number 1, as I have read out, I am going to read it out again. It was roses and roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. The house roofs seemed to have to heave and sway. The church spires flamed, such flags they had a year ago on this very day. Dear students, the poet explains in the opening stanza, a patriot walks down the street as citizens jostle with one another to pour their adulation on him. His service to his country is hailed with much frenzy and euphoric clamor. Rose petals are striven on the road for him to walk on. People sit on vantage points to have a good view of him. National flags are tied to church spires to show how the country is obliged to the hero for his service. The whole town is aglow with the aura of the great man's splendid service to the nation. He walks triumphantly among the crowd, gleefully acknowledging their praise. Dear students, let us go for stanza number 2. The air broke into a mist with bells, the old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. Had I said, good folk, mere noise repels, but give me your son from yonder skies, they had answered, and afterward what else? Dear students, let us have the explanation of stanza number 2. In stanza number 2, poet says that he would like to continue to describe the electrifying atmosphere in the city. It means the poet continues to describe the electrifying atmosphere in the city where that Patriot was welcomed. The hero's charisma has gripped, it means attraction, valor, has gripped the imagination of the citizens. They are standing atop some old buildings to catch his view. All this happened just a year ago. The public virtually fawned over him. They were ready to give him just anything he wanted. Even the life-giving son wouldn't have been a big thing to ask for. If he had asked for something more after getting the son, the people would have given him so much. They adored him and felt grateful to him for his service to the nation. Dear students, let us have the stanza number 3. In stanza number 3, the lines are, alack, it was I who leaped at the sun to give it my loving friends to keep. Not man could do, have I left undone, and you see my harvest, what I reap. This very day now a year is run. Dear student, in this part, the speaker, it means the patriot, the hero of the plot, reflects upon what he did for the country. The speaker takes us to Greek mythology to describe how Icarus and his genius Daedalus, who have broken free from their prison cell built atop a tower by a very ingenious innovation, they have succeeded to make a pair of wings, each by gluing bird feathers with wax. It enabled them to fly away from the prison tower, but Icarus gets carried away by his success and flies higher and higher until he reaches the dangerous vicinity of the sun. The wax melts in the heat, you know very well, and Icarus falls to death. All his friends have died earlier. By citing this example, the speaker in this poem alludes to his own excesses. He overdid his role as the country's benefactor and achieved something that was not achievable. So, this excessive zeal proved to be his undoing. He uses the terms harvest and reap to refer to missteps he took to bring glory to his country. He laments his fallings and accepts the consequences as something that is inevitable. He is reconciled to the darkness that lies ahead of him. So, you can say that he accepts that it was his own fault, that he had now become the victim of darkness instead of glory because of his over enthusiasm. Dear students, let us have the stanza number 4. There is nobody on the housetops now, just a palsied few at the window set. For the best of the sight is all allow at the Shamble's gate, or better yet, by the scaffold's very foot I trow. Dear students, in this stanza number 4, the poet or the speaker says that the heydays are history now. It means his glory now has become past life. It has been a year since the world the world has become a hot, hostile place for the speaker. It means the disgraced hero. Now he has been convicted and condemned to death. The authorities reckon that he has done something grievously wrong. He deserves to be hanged. He has been tightly handcuffed in his back. It is raining. He is being led to Shambles Gate, the place where he will be executed. The crowd who cheered him in the same street a year ago have gone to the hanging ground to jeer at him. Only a solitary crippled man is visible. What a cruel turn of fate. So, this is the fate of that patriot in stranger number 4. It is very pathetic situation now. Dear student, let us have the stranger number 5. I go in the rain and more than needs, a rope cuts my wrists behind, and I think by the feel of my forehead bleeds, for they fling, whoever has a mind, stones at me for my ears' misdeeds. In the stranger number 5, the speaker here, the fallen hero, is at the receiving end of the people's wrath. Wrath means here anger. They want revenge against the speaker whom they had spiritedly applauded just a year ago. The tight handcuff causes him wrenching pain as it bites into his flesh, chafing him relentlessly. The speaker bears it stoically. He feels that blood is streaming down from his forehead. Apparently, a stone hurled at him by the onlookers has hurt him. The speaker ignores it as a mark of remarkable equanimity. He doesn't feel any animosity towards his revengeful detractors. Instead, he feels they have used their mind to gog his misdeeds. The speaker knows for certain that the people have misjudged his action and proclaimed him guilty. So, it is a case of misjudgment on the part of his people. He is not angry with them for misunderstanding him. So, you can say that uh, really the patriot has a lot of patience, and now he is going back to his misdeed, and he thinks that if other people they have just misjudged him, so he is going to be punished, and it is not his fault, but it is the fault of his fate. He resigns to his fate. Dear students, let us have the stanza number 6. Thus I entered and thus I go. It trumps people have dropped down dead, paid by the world. What dost thou owe me? God might question now instead. 'Tis God shall repay, I am safer. So, in the stanza number 6, dear students, the speaker reflects on his fate that so cruelly cast made a villain of a patriot in so short of time. In this hour of reflection and reckoning, philosophical and spiritual thoughts are bound to come. In the core of his heart, he knows he has done no wrong. It is his own people who have wrongly understood him. So, before God, he remains a virtuous and noble son, notwithstanding the venom his people poured on him. So, he has no feeling of guilt, no remorse. Remorse means here repentance. He concludes that God will treat him kindly because his execution has cleansed him of remaining sins, if any. So, in this way, he feels that in this world nobody is going to understand him, but the God will treat him kindly over there after leaving this world. Dear students, thank you very much and have a nice day.